Alright, so we are live with the first scrim of season two. Oh my god. With the first... My stream wasn't muted. Okay, we are live with the first scrim of Season 2 between Dive to Feed and Season 3 Secrets. Match, excuse me. So we have everyone in the game lobby, and looks like we'll get into Champ Select in just a sec here. I am casting with Tasty Nubbins.
What's up, guys? Hope you remember me. I'm feeling a bit under the weather at the moment, but I'm here, I'm good, I'm ready to go.
Alright, so we are into Champ Select. And just waiting on the teams to make the first couple of bans. Let me pull out the stream chat real quick.
Also, let me know if my mic's a little bit too loud or not loud enough or whatever, because apparently it's been having some trouble lately or something, but I think it's fine.
It's a little bit hard on your consonants, but other than that it sounds fine. I just need to grab a water bottle so that my voice doesn't die.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Alright, so the first bans coming out are Jarvan and Cho. Jarvan being banned out a lot in solo queue lately because of the pros playing him. He's made a lot of a comeback. He's become really popular in Season 3. Cho'Gath has for the most part as well, more so in the top lane than in the jungle.
Yeah, definitely Cho'Gath is really strong right now. Has a lot of crowd control. He was seeing a lot of popularity, and I need to turn my music off. There we go. He was seeing a lot of popularity, and then he was nerfed quite a bit. His jungle was nerfed, and so people stopped playing him for a little while, but he has seen a resurgence, as often happens with overpowered champions that are nerfed. And Lux coming out as a second ban for blue team. So do you think that's somewhat of a targeted ban?
I think that's either targeted or they're going against a comp that is based around roaming. Because Lux is one of the most roam-heavy mids in this entire game. That's what I've come to notice whenever I played Lux. So they're either going for a targeted ban with that one, or they're trying to make a comp that's solely based on keeping the roaming champions out of it, or most of them for the most part.
Looks like Red Team Season 3 Secrets having the same idea of banning out Evelynn there. So two very heavy roamers. Evelynn, I haven't seen Evelynn ban in a long time.
Yeah, she's kind of, you know, with the DFG being changed completely, she's kind of fallen off a lot as an AP carry. No one really plays her there anymore, with the exception of a couple of pro players, but she really hasn't been too much of a threat. So I think that's more of an AD jungle Evelynn ban going out more so than an AP.
She definitely can be absolutely terrifying in the right hands, but as you said, you have to be someone who actually plays Evelynn quite a bit in order for her to still be all that scary. 280 carries coming out as the last two bans, Caitlyn and Tristana.
Yeah, so they banned out Jarvan and they banned out Caitlyn. So the Jarvan ban, basically they're making it so it's going to be trouble for Purple to pick a champion that can get to the backline and stop the bullet time. So if Joyride's positioning, or whoever plays AD carry, if their positioning is good enough, with the ban on Jarvan, they should not have too much trouble landing every single bullet time. And that the same concept for the Caitlyn ban. Like they might pick a jungler or a support that has an easy time rather than peeling, just going straight for the back line, which is why they possibly banned out Caitlyn.
Tristana being the other ban seems like quite a number of targeted bans likely in this game. And Thresh and Nasus actually being locked in for Red Team. Thresh, very, very, very strong support. As you were just talking about, he is actually one of the supports who's very good at getting to the backline. Not quite as good as Leona, but with his data settings, yeah, he can definitely...
I don't think a lot of people are good at being to the backline like Leona.
Oh look, I have something that pierces minions and actually pierces champions too, and we'll hit the farthest thing that I hit.
Alright, so Mummy wasn't banned. That's kind of a fun thing to see, because usually in every solo queue game, or more recently in 5 queues as well, you're seeing a Mumu being banned a lot. Everyone's trying to eliminate the green grenade from the fights, because he does a lot of damage, contrary to being so tanky with that Curse of the Sad Mummy. So that's going to be a good pick for them with the comp they're going against. If she can combo that with the Zyra ultimate as well as the curse and then the bullet time, that pretty much spells for immediate ace. So it's gonna be a pretty good comp that they have going so far.
And I think they must have expected Misfortune to be contested by Season 3 Secrets because they did ban out Jarvan, and it almost feels like Jarvan would be the perfect champion here to go with the bullet time with the Strangle Thorns from Zyra. A massive AoE comp that they're going for here.
So Jace is being hovered over, which is not too bad of a concept considering, he has as much potential to get to the backline as a lot of people. But he's going to have a lot harder time. Okay, never mind. They have Elise hovering over now. She has pretty good capability to get to the back line, but, AP tops really generally get outshined a lot of the time by AD tops, as awkward as that may sound. I don't want to diss on Voyboy here. But majority of the time you'll see an AD top beat up on an AP top, so I would much rather have seen the Jace, because I think that would have helped them more on the poke orientation part of it, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just rambling, so I stopped talking now.
I actually would have liked the Jace also just because of his acceleration gate to allow them to get away from a bandage toss, maybe a Zyra grasping roots. If dive to feed gets any part of their combo off, they're probably going to be able to land all of it. And so I just like to have seen that free Shurelias for disengage. They couldn't. Janna would have been a really good choice for support, but they had, of course, already locked in Thresh. And I would have liked to see them try to go for what disengage you can get, given that Janna isn't available anymore.
I like the Wukong hover over, but the Janna one I'm kind of skeptical on because that kind of contradicts their entire composition that they have going. I would have more liked to see a Sona or something else because, Janna's ultimate is going to knock everybody away, knock everybody out of position. They're not going to be clumped up anymore. But with Sona or somebody, you can crescendo them all in the face when they're clumped up. You can combo everything so much more well. So that's kind of a contradictory pick to their composition. But I think they can make it work if they just play it right.
I actually think Lulu would have been the ideal pick there. Generally,
that too, yeah.
Thresh,
Lulu's a good one too.
Thresh beats Sona pretty hard in lane. Lulu's probably going to be one of your better choices against Thresh. In addition, Lulu having the stealth reveal on her E would have been able to see Vayne if she pops her ult and tumble. And then on top of that, you have the wild growth to combo with whatever you feel like. You have two people who are going to be diving in with Wukong and Mumu. You wait for the CC and then you wait for the CC to end and then put your wild growth. Katarina as last pick though.
I'm not a big fan of the Katarina pick. I know she's really a cooldown champion, but there's at least 3 interrupts that are going to be available on blue, so her ultimate is going to be virtually useless given it is on really low cooldown. 3 interrupts against
4 interrupts, I think.
4 interrupts. I don't know. Does Zyra's ultimate, when it knocks up, is it like a? Does that interrupt?
Yeah, that'll interrupt. The Zyra knockup will interrupt. The Wukong will interrupt.
Yeah.
Mummy's stun. Janna has 2 ways of interrupting. I'm not sure if the Mummy ult interrupts or not, actually.
But Curse of the Sad Mummy is a snare, so. But I think so. They have a lot of interrupts. That's the point of what I'm trying to. So it's going to be really hard for her to get her ult off. So it's probably not the best pick they could have gone with this one. Okay. So, honestly, with the compositions that are available at this point, I'm going to give this one to blue based on composition because they look like they kind of planned this one out a lot more, given the Janna is kind of a little bit more out there. It's an outlier in this case. I still think the 4 that they have going there with the combos of the knockups from Wukong and Zyra plus the Curse of the Sad Mummy, I think that's going to be very, very strong.
Yeah, definitely. And they really don't have anyone who... Well, so Katarina can try to get to the backline and get resets off of Zyra Misfortune, but Zyra is going to be able to peel for herself somewhat. And Misfortune is going to be very... excuse me. Very well protected by Janna. So I just don't see Katarina getting enough resets off in team fights. Yeah.
Their backline is going to be either Nasus popping the, I'm pretty sure his ultimate is called Curse of the Sands or something like that.
Fury of the Sands.
Fury of the Sands, whatever. So that's going to be their way to the backline, or Elise's Repel if she can get that off. without, everyone just jumping away and saying, oh, okay, you're just going to stand here and not jump at anything because we're all out of the way. So that's pretty much their way to get to the back line, unless Thresh lands a really, really good death sentence and jumps to it with the box and everything. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's going to depend on positioning. Sorry, go ahead.
I could see Thresh trying to maybe flash in for a box with his Dark Passage, bringing Nasus also in. And if the thing is, they don't have very much peel for Vayne without completely risking their ability to dive. I guess Katarina will be able to dive, but
She won't be able to dive, absolutely, but that does kind of... she is a really good champion for roaming, which it seemed like they might have been... So I'm guessing now with the Katarina pick that Lux was probably targeted because, I don't think they would have banned out Caitlyn. They might have banned out somebody like Katarina or Kassadin. So roam heavy on the Katarina, so she's going to definitely be roaming a lot. Look for that.
we do have a teleport picked up by Wukong, so he'll be able to counteract some of the Katarina's roaming, but it's also going to hurt his chances in top lane against Elise. How does Elise versus Wukong go?
Elise is going to win that one early like she does everybody. But I think when it comes to team fights, Wukong has the edge because of his knockup, and Elise is, Elise is more of a damagey. She's not going to... And her inability in this one to get to the back lines was going to kill her in team fights. So she'd better stretch a really big advantage in the lane and try to get ahead as much as she can, which she's capable to do. And especially when Wukong ganks bottom, which you know what he's going to do. Wukong is going to use all his teleports on bottom lane ganks or returning to lane as fast as he can if he gets shoved out really fast pre-6. But you're probably going to see a lot of bottom lane ganks out of Wukong to try and counteract the MF v Vayne, because, Vayne's probably going to win that one in an all-out trade without a support, so we'll see what happens. But my guess is Elise is going to try to shove the lane as much as she can, especially when Wukong teleports. And you'll probably see her take the first tower of the game.
Yeah, definitely Elise needing to put that extra pressure on. Having the Ignite against the teleport is going to need to take advantage of that combat advantage that she has early. But it's going to be hard. Probably with the Red Elixir start from Wukong, it's definitely going to be hard.
Yeah, they do have the ability to start with the Red Elixir Fort Pot and then several other pots. Fort Pot, 6 pots, I do believe it is. That patch has not been instated yet, I don't think. I know the skin RP skin changes have, but I don't think that has been instated yet. So still will have that at their disposal. And they do have several champions that do normally start that. Katarina being one, Elise generally being one. Zyra, no. Wukong being one, and possibly MF if she doesn't start Longsword. So
I could almost see Vayne and Thresh going double Red Elixir if they wanted to and trying to land an early death sentence into Condemn, but
that would generally do as much as an Ignite would. So you might see that as well, and they might get an early first blood out of that because they don't have the Ignite, and that does virtually the same amount of damage. So that is a very viable possibility. Let me reorder my thing.
We are into the game and just going to get these icons set up here. So it is top lane Wukong versus Elise. Wukong actually starting out double rejuvenation beads, not going for that Red Elixir at level 1. Elise yet to buy her items.
Also, I would not be surprised at all to see an early invade out of Season 3 secrets. Dive Defeat has an Amumu. They really don't have, I don't think, as much of a strong level 1 in a sense because of the Amumu. And the fact that Jen and MF are in the bottom part of it, so if they invaded the blue buff, it would be... They would easily get a first blood out of it.
Yeah, it looks like both teams setting up a little bit defensively, though.
Hang on.
Yeah, no problem. Vayne and Thresh sort of defending the blue buff over here. The mid lane matchup is going to be Zyra versus Katarina. Katarina, of course, going for the all-consumable start, while Zyra does want to have a little bit of mana regen. Zyra actually going for quite a bit of mana regen with 3 mana pots and 3 health pots in addition to her Fairy Charm. Generally, Zyra doesn't have too many mana problems early. Her spells are pretty cheap, and only 2 of them cost mana. The Rampant Growth, her W, is free. So generally you don't see that much mana regen spec'd or bought by Zyra at the beginning of the game, but the Fairy Charm definitely just surprising to see that many pots. On the other hand, she's not expecting to take too much poke from Katarina. There's the Bouncing Blades, and Katarina can of course Shampoo in occasionally and try to get some damage down. But as soon as Zara has her slowing plants, Katarina is not going to want to do that as much. Double golems being taken by the dive to feed bot lane, so Janna and Miss Fortune going to have that little bit of experience edge. And looks like, yeah, Miss Fortune picking up that one. So they'll be able to get level 2 first. And actually a smite comes down by
Also,
Nasus
yeah.
on the blue buff. Looks like Amumu is getting a smiteless leash from Zara, but he's going to take quite a bit of pain here, losing maybe 2 auto attacks that could have been given over to him.
Also, kind of interesting in the bot lane starts, I would have pictured it the other way around. I would have seen MF start longsword pots and Vayne start Doran's blade. But they kind of reversed that, so eager to see who's going to put on the early aggression. It looks like at this point it's MF.
Yeah, Miss Fortune getting a lot of early damage down onto Vayne, forced to burn one of her pots already. It is 44 auto attacks before the health that you get from Doran's blade equalizes with the extra health that you get from the potions.
Also, the bot lane combination of Janna plus barrier means like double barrier, so they're really safe in the bottom lane. They shouldn't, if they get taken down really quickly, it's going to be kind of, I don't know, misplayed, because they have all the safety in the world with those double shields.
We do see Elise taking a little bit of an advantage in CS at the beginning, as you brought up during Chance Swap. And wow, that Q doing a lot of damage to Vayne from Miss Fortune. She's taking pretty low, still has 1 potion left in reserve. It looks like a Mumu into mid lane on Katarina here. And Katarina actually going to be forced to burn her flash, as Zara does land that, would have landed that Grasping Roots. Hook and bot lane lands onto Janna, and the tornado was a little bit early, but she should be able to just back away from that.
Also, Mumu did burn all his pots because he did go smiteless. So Nasus still has a little bit of sustain. He can stay in the jungle for longer and farm up his Q. Which I think is why you're seeing every lane not going aggressive. I mean, they might be pushing, but they're not going super hyper aggressive because they know Nasus has to farm, and they don't want to make any mistakes to get set
coming
back.
into mid lane now the Shampoo from Katarina, nice juke by her. Mumu taking really low, he's forced to flash. Ghost actually popped by Nasus here. Will he be able to kill? First blood goes to Nasus, refreshing his double buff there. Very nice counter gank by him.
Good counter gank by a good guy, Nasus. Save the Zyra.
And refreshing his double buff, in addition to picking up the 400 gold for that first blood, is definitely going to help him out quite a bit in the jungle. And Amumu, definitely a very gang-heavy jungler, is going to be set pretty far behind, especially with the lack of the blue buff. Nasus in bot lane now. Hook does land onto Miss Fortune. Will she be able to flash out? I don't think so. Exhaust goes down under Howling Gale, trying to get what she can. Ghost is not available, remember, for Nasus, but he gets a slope from his red buff. She's going to be able to walk out of this one. Janna taking really low, but Vayne actually almost taken out by minions. Vayne executed to minions. They're just taking too much pain from that cannon creep.
Just going down just a wee tad bit early, so you saw the barrier, and you would have seen the shield from Janna if she was not out of mana, but it is pretty much 100% survivability. Also, the best way to counter an Amumu is to definitely set him back early by taking him out, whether it be at his red or on his first counter gank, so always good to set Amumu back. He's going to be worthless
You just
for the most
saw
part.
so much damage onto him by Thresh and Nasus there. He was trying to farm creeps, just trying to hold the lane there, but the Death Sentence did land, and they were able to get so much pain down on him, forcing him out of lane.
Also, Kat still with the pot. She hasn't had to go back yet. She has 2 pots left, I do believe. She hasn't had any trouble farming this one out, and it's showing by a little bit of a CS lead. But I think the CS lead that's fairly decisive is in the bot lane. 32-13, MF over Vayne. Vayne has been forced to farm under tower for the most part. Probably in essence of keeping Nasus' ability to farm in the jungle. They're trying to let Nasus farm as much as he can, and he's at 29 CS right now with, let me check the bonus damage on his Q. Probably not a lot, because you don't like that, but that's the premise of what they're doing.
Yeah. So you can pause that when you get a chance. Volleying a lot of poke, again going down by Miss Fortune. Miss Fortune is very, very good against Vayne in lane. So much She has just so much higher damage output. Howling
So,
Galen's, and she's not going to be able to dive that.
so Nasus only at 45 extra damage at the moment on his Siphoning Strike. But I imagine as the game progresses, since he is able to farm for the most part pretty good, that will go up very, very quickly.
You see so much damage in Ballin. Vayne taken up to about a quarter HP by that last Q from Misfortune, and she hasn't been able to buy a Vam Scepter yet. While Misfortune does have that, she did get the assist on the Ballin gank, but she's so far down in gold just because of the CS differential.
Also in top, you see Nasus going for a gank through lane. This most likely, I think, will be a fail gank because Wukong has been farming fairly much at this point under tower, or wherever he's at now, just barely ahead of the tower. And he does have the cloak and run away. I forgot what that's called, but you know what I mean. So,
Decoy.
yeah, decoy. Oh, really? Really? It's that simple?
Yeah, right? Janna taken quite low by that tower shot in Ballin, and you're right, Nasus did, of course, just leave top lane going to farm his race. Mumu trying to do the same thing in Ballin, and he has not seen there no wards in this bush right now, but Misfortune just pushed up so far, and when the lane is this far behind, it's really hard to bait out a gank because they don't want to be aggressive anyway.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen as much roam out of Katarina also at this point. She's been using all those pots to her advantage, farming out the mid lane to get a 20 CS lead. I'm really surprised that she hasn't really come bot lane. Bot lane seems to be struggling against the Janna MF bot. So I'm really shocked that she hasn't shown as much roam capability. Also, the teleport from Wukong being kind of wasteful at this point. Doesn't look like bot lane's going to need it too much.
Yeah, Mumu actually spent about 2 minutes in the ball lane just now. He did finally give up after Vayne and Thresh were not doing anything, just trying to farm under tower. So he will take his red buff now, but blue buff not getting passed over to Zyra yet.
Not getting passed over to Zyra, which means they don't. I don't think they kept a 100% timer on it. Wait, yeah, they did. I don't think red team kept a 100% timer on it, rather. If I was playing jungle Nasus, I would have gotten more than that right after I cleared my red buff.
Nasus is bot right now. It comes down on the Dark Passage. Will the Wither comes down actually? Will the Death Sentence land is the question. But the Misfortune will going on to Vayne. Nice condemn down, but she has a double shield. Vayne taken out there through the exhaust. Nasus does have his ult active right now. Is able to pick that up with a Siphoning Strike. Janna has no mana right now. Forced to burn her flash, and they will not pursue this under tower.
So Nasus pops the Fury of the Sands. The minions are here. Could be seeing a dive.
We have Katarina fighting in mid lane, but Zyra just going to be able to back off. Meanwhile, Mumu is in top lane. We'll see if Wukong's able to bait anything out.
So it looks like red will pick up the first turret. Kind of thought we would have seen a lot the teleport used by Wukong to gank bot before this point. So Elise hasn't been able to push out the top lane as much as she could under tower, or she hasn't been able to as much as she probably wanted to. No damage onto that turret.
Mumu coming around the other side, and Elise actually tag our aggro right now. Wukong so low, the repel comes away to Mumu. She didn't want to trade the kill 1-for-1. A little bit surprised actually that she didn't want to make that trade. But it of course would have been an assist for blue team also, so maybe not wanting to feed a Mumu there.
That was one of the most professional things I've ever seen. Props to Elise for doing that. Usually if this were solo queue, which it isn't, it's, you know, 5v5 competitive. But if this was solo queue, you would have seen the repel in there, and that would have been a 1-for-1, which is never good. So props to Elise. She sent him back, given she went back too, but she has more CS and more gold, so she's able to spend that a lot more wisely than Wukong. So that was a very good win for Elise without picking up the kill. She's still setting Wukong back farther than she is. I'm glad to see that.
Mumu trying to make something happen in mid lane. That if he wasn't in top lane, he does land the bandage shots. Chris's side Mummy comes down. She's taken so low, and the ult by Zyra is actually used. Nasus now ghosting and trying to pick up something. His circle comes down, but he's not able to. Actually, Wither now onto Zyra. She's a little bit overextended, but the bandage shots comes in from Mumu. Teleported now onto the plant by Wukong. Will he be able to land anything? Nasus trying to get out of this. Wukong on the other side. Nasus trying to run up river. Has his ult active still. No slow plant from Zyra. He is taken pretty low, though. Bandage Toss comes back up, and that is going to be a kill. Wukong picking that one out with his Nimbus Strike.
Good guy Wukong being scumbag. So they will pick up the kill. 2 kills there, 2 ults popped just on Katarina. But that's okay. Kill secured, double kill. Wukong is now gonna. That pretty much cancels a little bit of the disadvantage that he's had in lane. That pretty much gives him, you know, what 13, 14 CS I think on kill, and that's gonna increase his confidence. As awkward as that may sound, you know, he's been thinking, okay, I'm getting shit on pretty hard, so I need to definitely farm at a safe place behind river, but too far ahead of my tower. Now that kill might give him a bit more confidence to where he can farm outside of that and possibly do some good damage to Elise and harass more. As awkward as that sounds.
No, absolutely. Definitely how confident you feel means a lot. He is diving onto Elise right now, actually. Has a Cyclone available, will get the knock-up. She does repel it and actually jumping towards him. Not going to lend any more abilities, though.
Half on half, Elise does have the pots at her disposal. She has 5 plus mana plus ward. She never really had to use those before, so that would have been a win for Wukong. In fact, it is a win for Wukong. She's popping her pots. He has the natural health regen with those rejuvenation beads.
Actually, looks like he's going back to base. Actually, in mid lane, Katarina taking out a Mumu as he tries to come gank.
Yeah, my directed camera missed that one anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it.
That
Katarina
could be a dragon.
Could be a dragon. They might be prepping for it. Cat did drop the ward in that area, though they will all walk over a pink. There is no coverage there, though, so Janna's going to pop it in the back of the pit, most likely.
Yeah, it's actually already warded.
Oh, yeah,
like
I didn't see that.
Is here, lands the grasping roots. They're trying to fight this. Box comes down. Janna taking solo, exhaust onto Vayne, but Katarina, actually Nasa's going to pick that up. Stranglepoint comes down. It will get the knock-up onto Thresh, but she is so low right now. And Katarina picking up that one. Will Misfortune be able to pick up Thresh? No! He barely gets out. She's trying to get away, and Nasus picks up the dragon and all of that. Misfortune, the only one available from Blue Team now.
It looks like that was just a case of miscommunication on your UI, because everyone was out of mana when they went into that, including MF, including Janna, including Zyra. I would have just backed out, but I guess they misread their mana bar or something. They should not have fought that at the mana rate that they were at. They are, well, and MF is still low, but you know what I mean.
Mumu flashing her tower actually for Vayne. She did burn her cleanse, has the extra tenacity a little bit. Will pop her ultimate there. Nasus is here for a counter gank, but I don't think he's going to be able to make too much happen. Thresh still on his way back to lane. The Wither comes down onto Misfortune. She's just going to walk out.
Just going to walk out, so the ulti gets popped by the Mummy. That means that we'll be on cooldown for just about another 120 seconds, I do believe.
150
so,
level
150 level 1, okay. So, that spells good news. 2 minutes of free. Well, you probably won't see a team fight, but if they wanted to, they might be able to win it without the Curse of the Sad Mummy. In fact, Bullet Time should be on cooldown as well. In fact, it is not.
It's
Bullet Time is off
now.
cooldown. I'm terrible.
120-second cooldown.
Just destroy me now. I'm terrible.
Did you hang up Skype call now?
Yeah, turn off mic. I quit. No. Phew.
So we do have Wukong recalling in top lane. Top tower is still up. Gosh, you're not getting anything right today.
I'm terrible.
It's okay. They were listening and they were like, oh, we want TC Nubbins to be wrong about everything.
In my defense, though, I kind of thought... I thought the Vayne Thresh bot lane was going to be a lot more hyper-aggressive. And I thought they were going to be pushed a lot more, which is why I suggested the teleport gank spot. Which, I'm not saying they're doing bad by not doing that, but they might have had a stronger advantage had they done so. But they traded early harass, like the silver bolts. You know what I'm talking about? I quit. I don't know.
Zaya did get to pick up her blue buff. Nasus was sort of there to try and do something, but he wasn't able to make it happen. A nice dodge of that death sentence by Misfortune. Cyclone has been burned by Wukong in top lane, but Elise just backing out, and that's the second time we saw him going onto his opponent with that ultimate and not being able to make something happen. Elise very, very good at escaping.
So bot lane not able to take down the tier 1 outer. It is just sitting at about 76 HP. One more auto attack would have taken it. I guess they thought the minions would have gotten it, but thankfully Thresh was there in time, and it will stay up very well. You know what I mean?
So if we take a look at CS, we have about identical differences in top lane and bot lane in terms of CS numbers. The advantage that actually looks like Destin's going to land on a Misfortune there. The final hour comes down, so much damage there, can vent them away from her tower. nice knock up from Janna, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Does she have mana for Monsoon? She does, but Vayne's still going to tumble forward. One more auto attack will be enough. Oh no, barrier comes down. She is exhausted right now. Will she be able to pick it up? No, actually the flash comes down and Amumu intercepting that to not die. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Katarina was able to pick up Zyra, and in top lane, we have Elise now diving onto Wukong here. Nasus picks up the kill with his Fear of the Sands. So, wow, I watched the only lane that didn't get a kill. But definitely nicely done in top lane, and Misfortune having to burn so many shields there. The exhaust from Janna was absolutely required to save her carry's life. Vayne took them so low.
There's the turret.
Yeah, top turret finally falling. Amumu is here though. Curses time, Mummy comes down, and bullet time. So much damage coming out. Box is there for a little bit of disengage, and the exhaust now used onto Amumu. Flay in the other direction, but Bandit Toss is going to connect, and very nice. He gives the kill over Misfortune. Now trying to chase down Vayne. He has red buff available. If he's able to land one auto attack onto her, she will be able to pick up the kill. She's pretty low on mana right now, but not going to be able to pursue that.
Blue team is behind in kills and gold, and it's really showing from the CS advantage for the most part, with the exception of bot. Exception. You get what? Oh my god, I am terrible.
With
my
the
bad.
Expectation of bot lane, everyone on Season 3 Secrets is doing better. Just showing how important that text document really was on Hotshot's hard drive.
Alright, so I gave the advantage to blue in team fights, given we haven't really seen any team fights yet.
Thought Katarina was going to go on Zyra there in mid lane, but not.
Is my mic working?
Yeah, your mic's working.
Okay. I don't know why, but my mic
I think it wasn't working for a short time, so I sort of just took over. But it's working now.
Okay. All right. Good. We're good.
Everyone's sort of grouped here in the mid lane, having 3 on each team. Wither comes on onto Mumu. That's not who you want to engage on. A lot of disengage comes down, and Mumu taken really, really low. Actually, Katarina going to be the first one to fall to Misfortune there. Vayne is here now. She's able to pick up Mumu. Lock with the Iron Solari comes down, and actually still trying to fight, but the disengage comes down from Zyra, a little bit more from Janna, and they're going to be able to walk out. So just the 1-for-1.
Just a little bit too long on the cooldown for bullet time. Had bullet time been up, that would have been a completely different fight. You would have seen a completely different fight, and blue team would definitely have come out on top. But that is up now.
Engaging onto Nasus, Cyclone coming down. Nasus pretty low on mana. His ghost is actually available. He's just going to walk out anyway. Misfortune trying to catch up with her strut passes on the other side, and he might actually need to burn his ghost here. She lands some auto attacks. Wither comes down, one more auto attack. Bullet time is going to miss, though. He's able to dodge that one out. Very nicely juked by him.
Still a win for blue team, believe it or not. The gold lead was just at 5k. That gold lead is now since decreased to 3.5, 2 towers to 1. So that still was a minor win for blue. They've narrowed the gold lead.
Pulled here. Misfortune on the other side, but able to pick up Vayne almost immediately, and Janna coming down with her Monsoon. Thresh flashing out. We have a lot of damage. They're trying to chase him down. Thresh is pretty low. Drops his lantern for a little bit of shield there. Elise was able to repel out. And strange positioning led to a 1-kill pickup onto Vayne there by Misfortune.
And it looks like they will be able to tie up the turrets at 2. Gold lead now just under 2k. A little over 2k, actually. Just a little bit. Yep, just a little bit. My bad.
Nasus now popping his ghost. Wither comes on onto Janna. Repel, and Elise going to jump and picking up that kill. Stranglepoint is available. She gets the knockup, interrupting Zyra. Not interrupting Katarina. She hadn't ulted yet, and that's going to be a double kill for Elise. Picking up a Mumu. Grasping Roots comes down from Zyra. Wither onto Misfortune. Will he be able to pick it up? Fear of the Sands is popped. She uses her barrier. Just tanking tower doesn't even care. Very tanky. Thresh actually really low. Lock with Iron Flyer comes down, but Zyra able to pick up the kill onto Elise. Katarina picking up the kill onto Misfortune. Zyra did pick up Thresh. So a 2-for-1 on that tower dive. Actually, 2-for-2 on that tower dive. So Elise and Thresh both falling there. Lockett just not quite enough shield.
Zyra, good placement on the passive. That I honestly don't like that at all, because it takes, like, it's so slow to go. But that was good placement. She knew she wasn't going to get it onto Katarina, so she waited on it, and she was able to capitalize on Elise, who overstayed a bit. Speaking of overstaying a bit, looks like blue just happened to do that last time. They didn't have any of their ultis available, so that might be why they lost that team fight just a second ago. So it was a good team fight initiation from red, and they will see, Vayne will see them all coming towards the red buff. She might not be able to get it.
Speaking of overstaying, Vayne is going to do the red buff for them a little bit there. Gets slowed by the Zephyr, but Jen actually really low. The flash comes in from Wukong over the wall, not able to pick up anything.
Going to give it the shot, sees the red buff is in the hands of good guy a Murmur, and they will see that it was cleared, and Dragon is up, so Nasus will be looking to solve this one. There is no coverage. He didn't walk over anything, I don't believe, so Blue gonna put it in the back of the pit right as I say something. They are out to get me today.
Season 3 Secrets trying to pick up this Dragon, but they are going to be chased off it. They know that Dive to Feed knows that they're there, and Elise is in top lane. Remember, Wukong is the only one with teleport. There's a couple minutes left on that cooldown, and looks like Misfortune actually doing a lot of damage, taking it pretty low. Nasus is here, but the engage actually onto Nasus. Will they be able to pick up the Dragon? Yeah, the exhaust onto Nasus. He has Fear of the Sand, so Lantern is there for him to be able to get out. Tricky to Sire, but so much damage coming out from Blue Team. All of the AoE is just absolutely melting them. Zyra actually ulting Nasus on top of Misfortune there, but she doesn't care that much. He's going to be able to walk out of that one. She actually chased him away. On the other side of the fight, we do have Wukong trying to dive in. Blue Team did pick up a kill on the other side of the fight too. Vayne is really low right now. I don't think they have any vision over the wall. They see Vayne now, but they're not going to be able to walk over her. Volatile Spiderling coming down, not finding anything.
Oh, I finally got something right. Oh, I finally got something right. The team fight, when comboed well with all of the ultimates, went easily into Blue's favor. Given Elise wasn't there, she doesn't really have too much interrupt, so all the ultis still would have landed. That was great team fight by Blue, and it looks like they will push this turret down on the second inner and the top to try and tie it up at 3.
Yes, they does fall there, 150 gold per member coming down, and that's, I think, the first inner turret of the game, so definitely going to be an advantage for Dive to Feed there. Picking up that
Also, the gold lead now decreased to 1.3k, 3 towers to 3, 12 to 10, and another one team fight, and the gold lead is in Team Dive to Feed's favor. Clearing the Dragon, yeah, they're going to take out that ward. They saw the ward. So Vayne's going to pick up the ward, extra 25 gold for good guy Vayne. And the gold leads, speaking of, 8k, 8.5k to 5.5k on MF versus Vayne. So a 3k gold lead for MF. That's virtually a completed item. So MF is one item up on this Vayne, and it's kind of showing in team fights with the bullet time.
Yeah, last team fight, we just saw their health bars being completely melted through. And it was just like watching, it's like watching Baron's health, except it was on 3 champions. Just from all the AoE. Wukong actually dives in, gets the Cyclone down on everyone, and both time comes down so much damage. Stranglethorn getting the knockup, 2 knockups in a row. Elise taken very low. She's going to repel, try to survive this one. Mumu is the first one to fall for Blue Team. You see Janna taking very low, but she's just the support. Wukong is ignited there, needs to be really careful. He might get taken out. And actually the kill is going to come down from damage over time from Katarina. She's trying to run away now, actually getting a lot of damage down onto Zyra. Zyra needs to be careful. Katarina might be able to just walk out. And so overall, a 1-for-2 actually turned in favor of Season 3 Secrets.
Turned in favor of Season 3 Secrets, but had that fight continue on, I think Dive to Feed would have come out on top had that fight continued, but the home guard from Nasus will make him full HP, and he will be able to stop the push in this turret. And now Blue is staying over their welcome a bit. Staying over their welcome. Overstaying their welcome.
Is popped, gets the condemn down onto Misfortune, that's huge. Blazer and King hooked up onto Zyra there, actually, and trying to get a little bit of slowdown. Actually, the cleanse comes down from Vayne to not die to an ignite there, I think, and the Thresh Lantern also going to help there. So Vayne's cleanse is going to be down for the next little while.
Cleanse is down for the next little while, and you know what that means. CC the Vayne, get her out of the fight. She's doing a lot of damage, even though Katarina is 5 and 3. Vayne 1 and 3. She still does damage from the back line when she pops her ultimate. So now that that cleanse is down, they will take notice of that for the next team fight, and they will try to CC her out of it just before it even starts.
Elise with a Warmog, though, is going to be very, very hard to take out, even if you can CC the Vayne. She's going, I think she just picked up the needlessly, but regardless of what she just picked up, she has quite a bit of damage right now with the hunting guys and the needlessly large rod. So going to be putting a lot of damage in team fights.
My guess is you'll probably be seeing that needlessly large instead of a death cap built into a Zhonya's Hourglass. I don't know why. Well, yeah, possibly. Depends. I would have gotten the Seeker's Arm Guard first, so she might actually be building that into a death cap.
And MF a little caught out in top lane. but everyone is coming. Katarina and Thresh running up the river. No wards have been placed. There's one in the tri-bush ward now. Janet just placing that one. Amumu coming in on the other side. We might have a 5v5 in top lane soon.
Gonna have a 5v5 in the top lane, and if not there, the next skirmish will result in a Baron. If this isn't the top lane, I can guarantee that one pretty much.
Essence lands onto Misfortune there. She barriers, flashes out, box comes down. So much damage from her bullet time. She got perfect positioning on that. Thresh the first one to fall. Katarina now ulting. Actually, no interrupts for her. Finally, the interrupt comes from Jana there. Actually, a very nice placement on seeing the exhaust down onto Vayne. Remember, she does not have cleanse right now, but Misfortune has to run away. She's ignited, taking very, very low. And the grasping roots from Zara is not enough kite. She is withered right now. We see Wukong very, very low, but he's going to decoy. And will he be able to pick up the kill on Nasus? Gets the shutdown onto Nasus. Is so low right now, but the elite kill from Elise did come down. And Vayne picking up the second kill onto Wukong. That's going to be an ace for Red Team.
Okay, remember what I said about Elise not being able to get to the back line and take out MF? I would like to retract that statement. Yeah. I would like to retract that statement. She did a good job of getting the back line, being able to take out MF for the most part. MF went down. Zyra was full health at the end of that fight. You know what that says? That says good positioning, or you weren't involved in the fight. I'm gonna say it was good positioning. But the minions are pushing bot as well, so they might be able to take a turret out of that. The turret is just below a third of HP. It's at 681. So the minions might be able to push that. MF going to try to save the day and save that turret.
And the biggest thing right now is that there's no Aegis for dive defeat right now. There is an Aegis on Season 3 Secrets, and right now you're seeing there's not that much focus in team fights. And that's not because they're fighting really badly. It's because everything's AoE. And when you have an team comp, there's not going to be all that much focus. And so just a little bit of extra tank stats on every single member of your team can make a huge difference. We had a Mumu, he's going for a Giant's Belt now. Actually a little bit caught up by Nasus here. Wither gets popped. Katarina is on the other side of the wall. Will she? Actually on the same side of the wall. Amumu completely out of position right now, but so is Thresh actually being grabbed there, and the knockup by Jana there. And Thresh is going to be able to take it out by Amumu. Will they be able to get Baron off this?
Call me crazy, but you might see that call. They are heading up to the pit. They might start this one. The pink is down. They will clear it out. They might not go for it now, but that pretty much ensures that they might later on. They are prepping for it. It looks like they will start it. Good Baron call. Nasus and everyone else is there. Not going to be able to get the ward, but the tornadoes from Jetta will keep them at bay for the most part.
And Nasus is a tanky monster right now, having a Giant's Belt in addition to Lock of the Iron Slaughter and another Red Crystal besides. And the engage actually from Wukong happens. Vayne is a little bit zoned from the fight. Amumu comes in, barely gets his curse of the side, moving up before he dies. Vayne cleansing there. Misfortune taken very low. No interrupts for the Katarina ult. Finally, the Jana ult comes down, but that's going to be Zyra falling also. Jana now taken also very low. Wukong is the only member surviving, and Vayne picking up that call with her Blade of the Ruin King. Katarina getting reset, now able to ult again, and they were able to turn that fight really, really well. Wukong now trying to get away. Elise actually might fall to him if she tries to fight this, and he should be able to pick this one up. She does get away, but just barely there. And the Baron is actually going to go to Season 3 Secrets now.
They will be able to pick it up. That was good play by Elise, keeping Wukong out of the way, trying to distract him as best she possibly could. Blue will see the Baron coming out. They will know it's time down. They will see the timer so that it will be up at 37:01. So they will have the timer, I think. Do I have the timer?
Yeah, 37:02 will be the Baron timer.
Thank you. I was close. That was just a blind guess. I am awesome. I am totally awesome.
I read it off my chat. Oh, I'm supposed to have my chat off. Okay.
I had it off from the last time, so I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Alrighty, so at least picking up the double golems. The gold lead now is at 7k. It was narrowly as close as 1.5 a while ago, but they have picked up 8 more kills, actually 6 more. It was 17 to 15 for the most part, I do believe. Seeing Elise up 225 to 126 in CS, and that lead will go down just a little bit because they do pick up the drag, but Elise is up nearly 4-ish K. Yeah, 4K onto the Wukong,
Nasus
so that's another completed item too.
Out, but of course, Nasus is not someone who is caught out because he was so tanky. He lands his Spirit Fire in the middle of almost everyone. Actually, Grasping still comes on onto Vayne. Knockup from Jana is going to be sufficient disengagement. Misfortune wasn't there though. They needed to be really careful. She is here now. Elise on the other side of the team. The ward will survive.
This may sound a little bit awkward, because Katarina is so strong right now at 7-4. But if they can get Vayne out of the fight first, they should have an easy time winning it.
Yeah, her cleanse
So
is not available. She did use it last fight. So if
that's... No, go ahead.
if they can exhaust her or CC her, it doesn't matter which one they do. She's not going to be able to cleanse anything.
Not going to be able to cleanse anything, and we might see a little bit of an overextend. NASA's popping out the circle of fun time. They will take the turn. Here's the engage.
Comes in with the ult, and bullet time coming out, getting everyone. The knockup lands from Stranglethorns. Also, Elise forced to repel to avoid damage, and Elise and Vayne, the first two to fall. Katarina is still alive, picks up the kill onto Janna. That is two disengages no longer available. Picks up a double kill, picks up a triple kill. Will she be able to pick up the kill onto Zyra? Picks up a quadra kill there for Katarina. Will she be able to get up the penta? Nas is not wanting to take this kill from Katarina, but does need help out with it. And Wukong actually going to flash out. Will she be able to jump up for it? Lands a bouncing blade. And I think it might be too late for the crescendo. Stealth comes from Wukong, and he was going to be able to live.
Yeah, does not get the penta, but gets the quadra. That looks like it was an all-around case of not being able to peel enough for your carries. Janna popped in and ulted them all away, I think. And I didn't see exhaust go down either.
Yeah,
MF was
Janna
just getting...
still has exhaust.
MF was just getting focused down in the back from Katarina, who shunpoed in there. And you didn't see a lot of peel because they were all going for Vayne and Cat, so...
I think Janna was just absolutely shocked at how fast she fell to that Katarina burst. Again, no Aegis has been picked up by them. Against the Katarina, I can't stress this enough, you need to have an Aegis picked up.
Katarina sitting at 510 AP with the death cap bonus. So, she's doing a lot of damage at 11-4, 199 CS. She has a pretty good lead over Zyra, who's at 6-6 and 9. Zyra sitting at just a wee bit over 291 AP. So, Cat doing so much more damage.
I almost think that at this point, Vayne doesn't care what happens to her in team fights. She says, you know what, you guys focus me, Katarina's going to pick up almost a pentakill. And normally you really do want to focus Vayne, and if you don't focus her, she's going to get a lot of unexpected damage down because she's Vayne. But she's falling, and Katarina is just cleaning up everything. Elise actually fighting Misfortune top lane, but Janna is there to save her carry.
Janna's there to save the carry. I think MF might have been able to re-engage that one with Janna when she showed up. They might have been able to pick some up, but Thresh and everybody actually is coming up. They are prepping for something. They might be engaging up here to go for the inhibitor, and then, you know, other stuff, and then funner stuff, and then other stuff, and then other stuff, and then...
Baron has worn off, I think, of everyone at this point, so not going to have that advantage anymore.
Baron will be up within 3 minutes. That might be the next fight we see, but Thresh at least putting on the split push top. It looks like all 5 blue are here.
They catch Nasus out, but he's just going to walk away. He doesn't care too much about Krasimir. Actually, he might care now. Taken very, very low, and the Wukong picking up that kill with his Nimbus Strike, they're going to be able to pick a tower.
They might trade Inhib for Inhib here. Looks like Elise and Thresh are going to keep pushing this one out. The minions are there to tank as well as the Spiderling, so they might trade Inhib for Inhib if they can get that far.
Turret falls in top lane. Wukong is leaving to go fight that, and I don't really agree with this at all. The kill comes down onto Vayne from Zyra. Curses that Mummy popped, and that's the shutdown onto Katarina. That is absolutely huge.
This is absolutely huge because not only that, but they might be able to get this bottom inhibitor and this bottom inhibitor as well. They have the damage from MF, but it looks like they're going to back out. Have they? Yep, they are going for the bottom one.
Teleporting to try to interrupt Elise's base, but he doesn't get there quite in time. She was able to get out, so she's going to be able to destroy this, defend this inner turret, and they are going to have to back off.
They are going to have to back off, but the plan was to go for the bottom. Had the recall been interrupted, that would have been inhibitor, and that would be next Baron easily in blue team's favor because they would have all the site. They would have the top of the jungle warded. They would have an easy peasy free Baron next time that was up. So they weren't able to get that. Elise was not able to get the inhibitor as well, so that is a win for blue team. They do have that naked inhib down top. They do have the naked inhib up top, but, you know, red is missing one, so good win for blue. That was a good idea to send Wukong back and keep pushing. It's a shame they couldn't make it even more.
Yeah, after they picked up the kill onto Vayne and Katarina, both of the carries down, that was no damage threat from Season 3 Secrets to stop Dive to Feed from continuing onto that turret. And they were able to show no fear, pick it up, and like you said, Wukong delayed the base and helped them get the inhibitor.
So icing the counter push from Red. Wukong does not have teleport up. He used that one. It is only a fourth of the way off cooldown. He might be going for the inner turret, and by inner I mean outer turret up top. But this would be an inhib and another one as well. So this would be double inhib for Red if they keep this push up. When Wukong is not there, he's gonna have to recall.
Bullet time coming down along with Strangle Thorns, but Vayne picking up the turret. Katarina Shun pulling out. Wukong has returned with Home Guard boots. Amumu Bandage Toss landing on a creep there. Shirelli is coming down from Thresh. He's very, very low right now. Wither onto Thresh also. Shirelli is coming forward, and Misfortune actually flashing forward to try and get what damage she can. She has Red Buff. The stun from Elise comes down. The box for disengage. And Grassingers, they are not going to be able to get past that box.
I was blue team right now. I would start as much of a fight as you can because you just saw a couple of ults blown from Red. They will be able to win the fight. They are all pretty much most of the part below have HP.
Misfortune taken solo, forced to pop her barrier there. She is ignited too. Will she be able to get shielded by Janna? Yeah, but will Baron take her out? No, Baron not actually aggroing to her. And we saw Katarina is pretty low. Thresh is almost dead, but Misfortune is also almost dead. One siphoning check might be able to take her out. She has life stolen quite a bit. Mumu is tanking Baron right now, taking pretty low. Janna is really low right now. Vayne is rejoining the fight from the other side. Elise taken pretty low by that Rat, the Howling Gale. Baron is almost dead. Will they be able to take it? And then Nasus gets the steal on the Baron buff. The person that Mummy comes out. Janna is picked up almost immediately. Can't get any damage down. And Vayne getting a lot of damage. Gets the kill onto Wukong. Nasus picking up the kill on Desire. Double kill for Nasus now. Misfortune, the only one alive, needs to continue running away, but Ghost is popped from Nasus. She has the red buff. A little bit of slow comes out. The turret falling and balling. Wither comes down onto Misfortune, and Vayne on the other side. Nasus picking the ace.
Yeah, so I would have personally, well, what would have been better for Blue would be to initiate the fight, win the fight, because Red was all below half HP. Had they initiated that fight before trying to go for the Baron, instead of baiting it like that, they would have won the fight and they would have picked up the Baron. But instead, they tried to bait it, which led them to tank damage from the Baron. So they were not able to win that. It looks like Season 3 Secrets will be able to pick this one up. They do have the Nexus possibly going down, but Janna's up with the Home Guard.
Home Guard, Shirelia's, and the Janna passive. Exhaust onto Nasus, but the Nexus will fall at about 39 minutes for Season 3 Secrets.
39 minutes in, very good game. You saw the advantages all just being. Wait, where's my gold lead? Why can't I see? I can't. Okay, my thing closed out.
Okay, I have it still visible on mine.
Anyway, so Season 3 Secrets able to win it. You see the gold differentials. Vayne made a nice comeback. She was getting starred for gold in lane early because of her being forced to farm under tower, but she made a nice comeback by picking up some kills and some very good cleanses. She was able to escape just barely. But I think the very big gold difference was from top and mid. You saw Cat and Elise both stretch their advantages really good. So, yeah. Wait, 10 out of 10. 0.
I have the password if you need it.
I do need it. I need it.
That's what he said it was, but I just tried it and it said it didn't match. So let me try again. Maybe
Yeah, mine didn't work either.
Okay. Okay, try getting rid of the last character. Nope. So I'm not really able to join the game right now.
Yeah, me neither. I'm just kind of sitting here.
He's trying to invite me and it's not going through. Hmm.
I'll be back in a second. I have to take care of something really quick.
Alright. Did you get the new game password?
I did not.
Okay, let me message it to you. He says he's sure of it this time. Alright, so I'm in the game if you want to come join the spectate and then they can get started. Alright, so we are into Champ Select of Game 2 of Season 3 Secrets versus Dive Defeat. It is Season 3 Secrets on the blue team now. Dive Defeat going to be this game's red team. Season 3 Secrets one up in this scrim so far, or in this match, excuse me, so far.
Alright, so the band's coming out. Same with the Jarvan and Cho'Gath from last time. Oi. Got some water. Same band's coming out last time.
Again, not changing any bands as a result of that game. I wanted... Oh, yeah, no. It is the same teams banning the same champions, so maybe more targeted bans than we thought on that Cho'Gath and Jarvan. Elise actually being banned out this time by Dive Defeat, so I guess figuring that Elise was actually the bigger problem and not Katarina. So Katarina did get absolutely huge last game, but maybe they're just thinking Elise was able to shut down Wukong very, very effectively in top lane, so just not wanting to have that absolutely powerful top laner in the mix. They're just going to ban that one out, and Amumu being banned out this time by Season 3 Secrets. So they were able to beat Dive Defeat last game, but Amumu had a lot of very, very good Curses of the Sad Mummy, so not wanting to face that jungler again. That
game was pretty far back and forth. A lot of times team fights would go one way, then one team would overstay a bit, and then they'd go the other way, and so on and so forth. So that does mean a lot. Amumu's ban coming out, that does mean a lot, as well as the Elise one. So Caitlyn also coming out just like the last time. Could be eliminating the whole, hey, let's stay back here and fight from over here, and you can't even hit me because I'm over a wall type thing. But I don't know what I'm saying.
Nasus is the first pick by Season 3 Secrets, so going for that same jungle Nasus again. Could potentially be a top lane Nasus, but of course Nasus almost always seen in the jungle right now.
Yeah, Diamond Prox did kind of bring that one back and make it really famous. The jungler for Team Gambit Gaming. That has become really popular since he started doing it in the LCS. I think in week 2, I want to say.
It was pretty early on, yeah.
It's really early on. He did that in one of the first games. Same with Jungle Volibear. That one's made a large comeback too. Also hovering over the Kog'Maw. That is a really interesting pick. You don't see a lot of those very often at all anymore. Kog'Maw, one of the AD carries like Ashe or Varus that really doesn't have too much escape and too much ability to get the heck out of there. And with the amount of gap closers in League today, it's really, really interesting whenever you see one of those. So I'm eager to see how they play out that bottom lane, especially with his positioning during team fights as well, so he can stay out of the way of that. With the range from his W, with the artificial range from his W that increases so much more, he might be able to attack from over some good walls and win some fights like that. But that's just my thing.
We do see Lulu coming down as a support, so Kog'Maw Lulu going to be the bot lane for Dive Defeat. And last game, it's actually a pretty big change having Kog'Maw Lulu from Miss Fortune Janna. Kog'Maw Lulu definitely a lot of kiting with the Void Ooze and Glitter Lance, but not as... It's a little bit harder to poke with them, just because Kog'Maw... I mean, they both have escapes, I guess. But fighting Miss Fortune Sona is really what's going to be making it so different, is that last game they were able to just poke, kite, and dominate the lane, but Miss Fortune Sona are also a very strong bot lane.
If they overextend a wee bit, you'll definitely see early kills out of the MF Sona lane if Kog'Maw or Lulu overextends a bit. So, wait. Oh my goodness.
So I definitely like seeing the Lulu pick up this game along with Malphite, actually, assuming that they do lock that in as either the top laner or the jungler. Lulu Malphite is a very, very good combination. Malphite can dive in with his unstoppable force, and then the instant that the instant before the knockup is about to end, Lulu can pop her Wild Growth on Malphite, and then you get that double AoE knockup effect, and that can be fantastic CC, especially against a carry like Miss Fortune, who has no escape. She'll have to burn her flash to get out of the mouth. Like, if she's able to flash the Malphite ult, that's great, but the chances of her being able to do that are pretty low, and she's not going to be able to dash back the way Caitlyn could. Caitlyn was, of course, banned out, so not able to pick up that champion. Graves also could dash out after the knockup has been applied, but Misfortune is just going to be stuck with that attack speed reduction in the ground slam, and definitely it's going to be harder for her to fight against Malphite. Katarina was insta-locked by Season 3 Secret, so they know Katarina was able to absolutely dominate last game. She did do very well in lane. I'm not saying she did badly in lane. She didn't dominate her lane as much as Elise dominated top lane, but she did do extremely well last game, picking up a quadra kill, almost picking up a pentakill, and will be Renekton as a top laner. It will be Renekton as a top laner, so going for another very strong lane bully similar to Elise. It looks like Nubbins actually has to go, so he wasn't feeling too well last game, so I'm just going to solo cast this game. So sorry about that, but hopefully it should be fine. So thanks a lot for casting that game. I know that I know you weren't feeling well, but thanks for sticking with it as long as you could. So I'll talk to you later. So it was Renekton locked in as that top laner for Season 3 Secrets, and we'll see what Dive Defeat decides to pick up as their top laner. Looks like it will be Singed, maybe sitting on that pick. So Renekton is a lane bully against absolutely everyone, but Singed is able to scale very well into late game. So we'll see if Renekton's able to sort of shut him down enough in lane, or if he's able to just start farming, keep farming, farm some more, farm behind towers, farm behind other towers, farm in the middle of the base, proxying all three waves at the same time, and then just become an absolute late game unstoppable terror. And it's actually going to be pretty interesting to see, because Nasus is somewhat similar to Singed, where you just farm and farm and farm, and all of a sudden you're like, well, I can take on the entire enemy team and I don't even care. And you're like, well, when did that happen? Oh, it's Nasus, or oh, it's Singed. So it'll be interesting to see which of those two champions is able to sort of get that hyper scaling first. Again, in ball lane is going to be Misfortune Sona versus Kog'Maw and Lulu. Both are pretty good trading lanes, and both AD carries have the characteristic of having a short time that they want to trade during. Both of them have the short duration auto attack buff steroids. Misfortune with her Impure Shots, Kog'Maw with his Bio Arcane Barrage. Both of them actually on their W, and both of them don't really want to trade when that's down nearly as much as when it is available. So we'll see when their cooldowns stack up relative to each other. Sona and Lulu also both very strong trading support, so I expect to see a lot of trading in ball lane, and the sustain from Sona's Aria of Perseverance, we're just going to have to see how much that's able to counteract the little bit of extra damage that Lulu and Kog'Maw will have during the duration of Bio Arcane Barrage. Mid lane is going to be Lux versus Katarina, a little bit of a similar matchup to Lux versus Zyra, and that is going to start out with Lux sort of dominating with those early auto attacks that she's able to get off. And at level 6, we'll see, is Katarina really able to get in and burst down Lux. Lux, unlike Zyra, does not have any sort of interrupt for the Death Lotus, so if Katarina starts ulting Lux and Malphite isn't there to come and give a gank to his mid lane, then that will be probably a kill for Katarina. Ghost has been taken on both Nasus and Singed, both two champions that it's very, very common to see Ghost on. Nasus wants to be able to run directly up to Kog'Maw, really, really wants to be able to get a Wither down, would absolutely love to just be able to stick to him. We'll see if he's able to get past the peel. There's a lot of peel for Kog'Maw in this composition. I really like the amount of peel they have. Malphite is probably going to dive, but Malphite diving doesn't preclude him from sort of getting a seismic shard down onto someone who's trying to dive the AD carry. Lulu, of course, possibly the strongest peeling support. That title maybe should go to Thresh at this point. But Lulu has, or maybe Janna actually. Janna is probably the best peeling support. But Lulu with a lot of peel. Lux with her light bindings, able to throw down a lot of peel with that. Her Lucent Singularity, if she leaves it active instead of popping it, it'll cut down her damage a little bit, but it will allow her to get that extra slow for a really long time. Of course, the wild growth from Lulu also going to provide an AoE slow, and if Singe is able to build towards a Rylai's, he'll just be able to go through everyone, slowing them with his poison trail, and just starting to put out a lot of damage that will stack over time. On the other side, we do have a lot of good AoE damage from the a lot of good AoE ultimates from the Death Lotus from Katarina, the Crescendo from Sona, the Bullet Time from Misfortune, the Dominus from Renekton, and the Fairy Sands from Nasus. All 5 of those ults do some sort of AoE damage. Of course, Sona's is just about the crowd control, but you're going to have that AoE damage shred on both the jungler and the top lane, and then the Bullet Time from Misfortune, a lot of damage there. And just putting us back to the hold screen as we are getting into load screen here. Okay, there we go. I am loaded into the load screen now, so just throwing that up here. So the summoner spells on the AD carries, they actually opted for different summoner spells. Misfortune choosing to go for the cleanse and Kog'Maw going for the barrier. And it almost seems a little backwards to me. Generally, Kog'Maw is one of the carries that you often are going to see a cleanse on, especially against the Nasus with that wither lasting for so long. He really doesn't want to be stuck in the wither for too long. So I'm a little surprised to see barrier chosen by Kog'Maw with cleanse and Misfortune. Barrier is situationally a better summoner spell for fighting and balling than cleanses, and Misfortune is really about winning the lane and then doing a whole bunch of AoE damage in team fights. So if her AoE gets interrupted, she doesn't need the crowd control as much as Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw's damage is all from his auto attacks. If Misfortune's ultimate gets interrupted, well, that's already pretty bad for her. So she just wants to be able to barrier, and you can pop barrier during a channel. That doesn't interrupt the channel. So just grabbing the overlay here. We are getting into the game, and looks like a couple buys are coming out. I'm just going to reorder these scoreboards so it is easier to read. Doran's Blade starts on both carries. I think Eights, the AD carry from Season 3 Secrets last game, started out with a longsword and 2 health potions on Vayne, just scared of the early harass damage from Misfortune, wanting to get some early sustain, given that Thresh had no sustain of his own, just the shield. And of course he is going to level his death sentence first. And Vayne coming down now by dive defeat, actually going for this tri-bush, and Sin is going to get there before Sona. Will he get his flip? He gets the flip onto Sona. Sheen is going to need to flash out. Line baiting is going to miss, but the auto attack comes down. Ignite onto Sona. She's able to flash out, and Sona barely going to survive this one, burning a pot to try and counteract a little bit of the ignite there. If that light binding had hit, that was definitely going to be a dead Sona. But nonetheless, they were able to force Sona's flash, so Sona is going to be very gankable early on. Misfortune does not want to stay around at all. Sona was not able to throw a ward down into the bush before she ran away, so they have no idea where dive defeat is. So they're going to start at blue buff. Misfortune's sort of waiting around red buff to see if they can she can spawn anyone out. There are no long range skill shots aside from the light binding that could catch her out, so she's going to need to be very she needs to just have her hand on DRF to just be able to flash light binding should come, but they're actually going to still go for golems. Still here, Misfortune trying to run to the other side. She's still in the bush. Singe not getting there quite in time. They were spotted, and all 5 members of Dive Defeat are still here. Looks like Singe going to just teleport to top lane, getting out of that one. An auto attack comes down onto Misfortune 2 from Kog'Maw, actually with his Bioarcane Barrage, so doing quite a bit of damage there. You can already see 2 auto attacks doing almost 100 HP to her, and Lux and Lulu look like they're going to help Malphite with this invisible blue buff. I was concerned that it had gotten stolen or something, and then I realized it was just a visual glitch. You can see Misfortune doing a little bit of damage. Excuse me. Sona actually still has not cast a Q, so still not giving that aura over to Misfortune, but she is going to activate that now. Misfortune pushing the lane a little bit. Lulu still hasn't arrived, and Kog'Maw is going to be a little bit behind. Smite was forced to use by Malphite, and Kog'Maw actually taking a lot of damage there. You can see another Q from Sona is going to land. So definitely Misfortune and Sona with an early advantage due to that invade. And overall, that invade actually didn't go all that badly for Season 3 Secrets. Dive Defeat maybe overstayed just a little bit. Nasus burning his teleport to get to top lane. neither top lane started with a red elixir. Singe going for the boots and an all-consumable start on Renekton. So Singe just wanting to be able to dive through and be in a nuisance. Kog'Maw taken really, really low in this bot lane. Very good auto attacks from Sona there. And you can see he's taken below 100 HP. He needs to be very careful. Nasus, meanwhile, is on his way to top lane. Will be able to be on the other side. Remember, he did start boots, but the stun actually comes down from Renekton. He's going to have to protect his ghost. He's taken so low. First blood goes down to Renekton in top lane on Singe. Very nice gank. Very well executed. And just no wards. When you start with no wards, you need to be so careful about overextending at all. And Renekton was able to pick that. Oh, but in bot lane, the Q actually from Misfortune doing so much damage there. But she's actually going to tank turret, taking 2 shots there. Gets healed a little bit by Sona. Kog'Maw burning his barrier though, doesn't want to get dove at all. In mid lane we do have Renekton going down onto Lux. He has the Wither on her. Does she have the light binding? She does. She's going to be able to get that off. Katarina gets a little bit of damage, but Sona picking up the kill on Kog'Maw in bot lane. Wow, so Kog'Maw just really, really wanting to stay, really not wanting to be forced to go back to base this early before he can buy anything, and just getting absolutely punished by the poke from Sona and Misfortune. They're very, very strong bot lane. Just those 2 champions together in bot lane have so much poke damage potential. When Misfortune with her Qs, and especially when she activates her impure shots, and then Sona's Qs do a lot of damage. Nasus coming back mid lane. Flash is not available for Lux. She had to burn it earlier, and she's almost out of mana right now. I don't think she has mana for life binding. She's doing so low. Katarina should be able to pick this one up. Nasus is actually picking that up with red buff, and Nasus is just doing so much work for his team right now. 3-0 at 4.5 minutes. 1.5k gold lead for Season 3 Secrets, and they're looking absolutely strong right now. As the game goes on, we will start to see Kog'Maw outscaling Misfortune in terms of raw damage to a single target, as his Bio-Arcane Barrage is absolutely amazing for dealing damage. But the bullet time from Misfortune is not to be underestimated, and they have a really good team fight comp. It looks like in top lane, Nasus is getting some damage done onto Singe. He's going to go back to base soon, I think, so he doesn't mind getting too low as long as he doesn't fall. So just taking a couple turret shots. He has not bought yet. He's still doing all of this on just his starting items. And we see a little bit more pressure in bot lane. Kog'Maw actually returning some damage, and a good power chord from Sona there gets a little bit more damage back onto him. Light binding lands in mid lane. Lux shielding herself. She did go back to base when she died, so at full mana again. She was having some mana problems before. Has picked up a tier, but no wards. And really, right now, Dive to Feed needs to be warding a lot more, because Nasus is doing an amazing job of ganking, and he picked up the assist in top lane, but he picked up the kill in mid lane. So that's 500 gold that he's going to have over Malphite. And if you look at the gold, you can see he's ahead of Malphite by actually about 300 gold there. So Malphite was able to get a little bit more farm than Nasus was. Malphite was in bot lane, has left now. Polymorph comes down onto Misfortune. She's pretty low right now, but not going to fall there. Definitely a good fight from Lulu and Kog'Maw, but again, Sona has the heal, while Lulu only has a shield. So it's sort of a false sense of winning when you're fighting against a support with sustain, because you win the fight, but then they have sustain, and you burned all of your sustain earlier during the fight. There has been a red elixir popped by Kog'Maw, so he's just trying to sustain as much, or trying to just be as strong as possible right now. He knows he's behind. Polymorph now onto Lulu, or onto Sona, excuse me. She's very low. Lulu also really low. They need to back off right now. Nasus was there for possibly a gank. I'm a little surprised that they're deciding to push this instead of zoning, but they might be able to pick up the tower if red team does back off. Dive defeats bot lane, very, very low right now. Again, Kog'Maw does have the red elixir, so that's a little bit of extra health that he has temporarily, but he's still pretty low right now. You see, he's actually doing a really good job of CSing right now at 28 or 29 CS to Misfortune 33. When you're that far behind and you're that much in CS, you're doing a really good job. Dive now onto Kog'Maw. Flash burned from Lulu there. Malphite on the other side. Will the red buff be able to pick up the kill onto Kog'Maw? Lulu is picked up by Misfortune. That's going to be a double kill for blue team there, as on the top lane, Renekton was actually able to pick up a kill onto Nasus. Was able to pick up a kill onto Singe. Singe had not hit level 6, and Renekton had, and so Renekton just popping his dominance there, getting a lot of damage down onto Singe, and you can see he's actually at a decent percentage of his health still. He'll be able to get a lot of damage down onto the turret. Singe teleporting in is going to be able to save it. I think he might have been able to pick up the turret if Singe had not teleported in. And actually, Renekton, staying for just a little bit. He needs really low. Gets the stun down onto Singe. Slow is not up for a little bit longer. Still 10 more seconds on that. But he's staying taken very low. The flip actually in the wrong direction now. And Renekton's going to be able to walk out. And so Renekton Singe, the timing on his sling was very unfortunate because Renekton had just passed him, or he was about to pass Renekton, hadn't quite done it yet, but he gets the flip, and Renekton's so low right now. Will he follow the poison? He's just barely going to survive that, and actually living there with he dies to the minions there. Singe taking out the kill on Renekton. Renekton had potions on him. He could have been potting there. Definitely could have survived that. And balling a lot of damage down onto Kog'Maw, but definitely Renekton could have survived that. He could have, if he'd popped a potion a little bit earlier, he wouldn't have died there. But very, very nice job by Singe, knowing, you know what, you're getting too greedy. I'm just going to stay here, and I'm going to be able to pick up a kill on you. So, and like I was saying before, Singe is definitely going to be this unstoppable force late game if he is in the slightest bit not shut down in top lane. So getting that kill pick up on Nasus is going to be absolutely huge for him. He might still be behind in gold. If we take a look at it, he is still actually 1k gold behind of Renekton. Renekton with the 2 kills, one of them being first blood, and quite a bit of CS. But he will eventually be able to outscale. In Bali, Sona was able to pick up Kog'Maw, as we do have Nasus sealing away this red buff. The Kathleen Surprise, not enough damage there, but the light binding comes out, and he's very low right now. Katarina coming in though with the Death Lotus. Lux needs to shield herself just to survive. We have Fury as a sand swap. Katarina picking up the kill on Lux solo there. Katarina now a little bit caught out, but Malphite actually now the one have to run away, as Renekton had come down from the top lane. Malphite actually being forced to flash there. He's still level 5. He's not level 6. If Malphite was level 6, that fight could have gone very differently with the unstoppable force available. But only level 5, so not having that much damage. A lot of damage now onto the Balling turret. Lulu trying to keep it alive, doing whatever damage she can. And Polymorph on Misfortune was able to slow them down, but not enough, and that's going to be the turret falling. Singe is in top lane, just trying to farm. But Nasus is here for gang. He does not have red buff right now, but the stun comes down from Renekton. Singe, now with his ghost available right now, tries to pop the Mega Adhesive to stay alive. He pops his ult, the flash comes down from Renekton, and that's going to be the kill picked up with his Q there. So Renekton now 3-1 in top lane against Singe, is doing very nicely for himself. Singe actually went for a Tear of the Goddess first, instead of going for a Catalyst for a little bit more tankiness and sustain. He does get the extra health from his mana, from his passive. So that's going to be a little bit of tankiness, unlike most champions who build tier and don't get anything from it. Ryze and Singe can actually build that and get something, but still not as much as a Catalyst would be. And actually going for an M-Tome, so going for a very squishy build on Singe early on. And this is definitely going to be hurting him against Renekton, as Renekton has just so much damage that he's able to output in lane. Is a huge lane bully. And the turret did fall though, so Singe is probably just hoping that he's going to be able to farm safely. Crescendo missing there on Kog'Maw, not quite far enough. Katarina is roaming bot though, and they don't have a ward. I don't know if she passed over that ward. I pressed the wrong button to see it. They have no idea that she is there. And she's going to come in. Wild Growth popped by Lulu, but that was the absolute last mana. She is exhausted right now. Picks up the kill on Kog'Maw through the exhaust. Actually, Misfortune picking up the kill onto Kog'Maw. And that's a beautiful Shunpo with ward place in there from Katarina, picking up the kill there onto Lulu. Dragon is up right now, and they have 4 members bot. They might be able to just go for it right now. No problem. Singe still fighting Renekton in top lane. Renekton getting flung actually away from his tower, and should be able to sustain with his Q quite a bit with all these minions around. Just picking up all of those. Lux looks like she wants to steal. Final Spark is available, using that now, but it was completely blind. It was decently timed given that it was completely blind, but she did end up just helping Season 3 Secrets take a little bit of an easier dragon. Well, a little bit of a faster dragon. They took more damage overall, obviously. The middle turret is the only turret remaining on red side, and actually Singe having to pop his ult and ghost right now in top lane. Renekton still chasing, getting pretty low. Singe saying, "Hey, I'm Singe. Do you want to chase me? Come chase me." But Renekton just heals off some creeps there, taking pretty low. He's remembering to pot this time, so that's definitely going to make a huge difference, as he would have died right now without this help potion. Malphite is on his way top. Can probably just he can definitely one-shot Renekton if he's able to land an unstoppable force. A seismic shard might even be enough to one-shot. Singe on the other side. Renekton pretty caught out right now. His only choice is to get a slice through Singe, which he does land, but I don't think actually gets the Q, and Unstoppable Force will be able to pick up the kill. But you see Singe was taken so low there. Nasus is here for to pick up the kill just with that E, and now he does have red buff. popping the Fury of the Sands onto Malphite. Malphite pretty low. He does have his Seismic Stride available to try and move speed. Hasn't used it yet. I'm a little confused why, but he's just trying to rock away, and Nass is just picking up that kill onto Malphite, just casually chasing him there. I'm really surprised to not see a Seismic Stride out of Malphite to try and steal that move speed and get the slow off to try and get away. But very nice awareness by Nasus to go top lane, get that counter gank off. It was a little bit delayed, but it was basically a counter gank, and end up picking up Singed. And you just see how big Renekton is, that he was able to survive for that long against two people and get Singed that low, that just one tick of the Spirit Fire was enough to pick him up. So about 13 minutes into the game, laning phase is basically over right now. We have a 7k gold lead for Season 3 Secrets right now. They're up by 11 kills right now and have almost a 50% gold lead on dive to feed. So that's absolutely huge for them. You see Sona trying to start this blue buff. Lulu is coming in to try and see if it's available, but she's going to realize she wants nothing to do with this, as there are 4 members there. Nasus on the other side does not have any teleport. And actually Lux steals away the buff, and we do have a teleport coming in now by Singed. He's just going to run through everyone with his poison. Kog'Maw getting a lot of damage down, and Lulu taken pretty low by Renekton. The crescendo hits 2, but it's not going to be enough. Singed meanwhile fighting on the other side. Will he be able to get a flip onto Sona? No. He's going to be chased off a little bit, but Dragon should be up pretty soon, and Sona is very low. Light Binding not going to hit there, but some good poke from Kog'Maw. He's pretty low on mana, needs to be careful. Nasus coming down from the other side though, and Nasus is likely going to be able to pick this up. Kog'Maw forced a flash there. In bottom we did have a duel between Singed and Katarina. Katarina ended up falling to Singed there, which is actually pretty huge for Singed that he was able to pick up that kill. So I'm not exactly sure what happened, but Malphite actually having to be ulted by Lulu there, getting a little bit caught out. Didn't want to let Nasus get anything down onto him after he was already withered. So a third kill of the game picked up by Katarina there. Or by Singed, excuse me, by Singed on Katarina. Singed out 2 and 4. He did pick up a Catalyst finally, so he has a little bit of sustain as he levels, but again, that's laning is over, so that's not, definitely it's an item that falls off after laning because you're not getting levels so fast. We'll see, he'll probably decide to build that into a Rod of Ages. Could maybe decide to go for a Banshee's Veil, but probably that Catalyst will turn into Rod of Ages. And the mid turret was taken down in favor of Season 3 Secrets. Unstoppable Force lands onto Misfortune. She's going to cleanse and try and get out, and Sona going to keep her alive there. They're just backing off to tower. Katarina still in bot lane, trying to get some farm. If we look at CS, we actually have a pretty definitive lead for almost everyone on Season 3 Secrets. About a 20 CS lead on Katarina over Lux, which is really impressive considering how much better Lux is early. But Katarina getting Deathless down, so much damage. Malphite flashed out, but he wasn't able to live despite that. We have Singed trying to proxy lane at the top. Renekton is still able to do a decent amount of damage to him though, despite the fact that he is Singed. He doesn't care too much, he's just going to be able to walk away from that one. But Renekton still has a lot of damage. He did pick up a Brutalizer. It looks like he's going to build Force Sunfire as his first completed item. And 14-3 are the kills now. A very sizable advantage in Season 3 Secret's favor right now. They're trying to push onto this mid turret, but shouldn't be able to get it as Singed is here. And Renekton split off to the side. Teleport is not available right now by Singed. It's about 50% of his cooldown, so roughly another 2 minutes on that, and then it'll be available again. So they need to be a little bit more grouped for the next 2 minutes, and then I expect to see him just go back top. But we do have Renekton splitting top lane right now, probably going to just continue pushing that to tower as much as possible. In the jungle, Singed with a very large CS advantage over Malphite. If we want to look at his Siphoning Strike, he is he's plus 96 bonus damage on that. So he's been doing a pretty decent job of getting that farm up. Katarina taken very low. She has to burn her flash to get out. Unstoppable Force is not available from Malphite, but Katarina actually trying to juke on the other side, gets flipped by Singed, and Singed picking up the kill onto Katarina there. Renekton, meanwhile, though, is pushing top tower, getting pretty good damage onto it, and Katarina just a little bit overextended. I think she might have been able to get away, but she did want to just try and juke there. So Shen pulling to the other side and was picked up. Bullet time going to save this mid. Gets light bound and flipped in the middle of the team. Seismic Strike comes down. She's taking a lot of pain and she actually survives for a really long time. Lock of the Unsolari might be able to save her. Unstoppable Force needed to be used by Malphite. A beautiful save there by Misfortune, just life stealing quite a bit and saving for a really long time. Saving herself for a while. And then Nasus coming in with the Lock of the Iron Solari, just saving her just for a little bit longer, forcing Malphite to use that really long cooldown on Misfortune and picking up the kill. And overall, very nice. It looked absolutely terrible from Misfortune. It looked like she was just going to be picked up for free, but they were able to pick up the kill on the Malphite also and send 2 people back to base. So looks like Sona and Nasus going to try and just duo this dragon together. Kog'Maw was just up top farming top lane, and he does have a pretty significant CS lead over Misfortune. It was actually really, really impressive. Katarina just getting a little bit of help. Shen pointing this dragon. It is falling pretty slowly as Nasus not wanting to use his ult on it, but he is going to smite that away at 18:45, so that'll be back up 24-25, 6 minutes from now. And we'll look to see, red team doesn't really know when it was, but we'll look to see if Season 3's Secrets is going to be able to pick that one up on time. Katarina and Misfortune both in bot lane right now. Blue buff is available right now on Dive to Feed side. We'll see who ends up picking it up. It's not worried by either team, but they should both know that it is available right now. And the lack of ward here from Sona and Katarina is actually a little concerning me. Singed is coming in. They should be able to get away from Singed, but if anyone else follows him, they're going to have a lot more trouble. Katarina Shen pulling out, actually doing so much damage to Singed there. He pops his ult, flings a minion accidentally there. Light binding comes down and is going to miss both of them. Sona trying to run away, gets the Shurelya's off, but the Mega Adhesive is a decent amount of damage there. Or is a decent amount of slow. They're going to continue running, and it looks like they had just enough move speed, but there's still 2 versus 5 in this bottom half of the map. Nasus getting blue buff, Renekton mid, and Misfortune actually taking her wolves. We'll see if they're able to defend this tower. Looks like now Dive to Feed knows the dragon isn't up, so they'll have that timer to within 2 minutes accuracy. And this blue buff will go over to Lux. She picks that one up with her last auto. She picks that up with one last auto attack. Kog'Maw defending this tower against Renekton and Misfortune. Lulu on the other side could maybe get a slowdown onto Misfortune there if she dropped her health picks onto Renekton. But not wanting to have too much of a fight there, it seems like Nasus is actually the one to be split pushing top lane right now, using his Spirit Fire to just farm the creeps and content to farm his Q when he can. He really wants to get that as farmed as possible so that he can be doing as much damage in team fights as possible. Kog'Maw and Lulu are collapsing on the other side, and he's actually gotten, the tower is pretty low. Renekton was still pushing it earlier. He does not have his ghost available actually. He needs to be really careful. The polymorph comes down, and the slow from Glitterlands, he's getting some slow too. Sona does have Crescendo right now, so she will be able to turn this if they decide. Actually just content to land the slow card, and actually does get the Crescendo off. Unstoppable Force is available. Katarina really, really low right now. Final Spark coming in. He lands the Unstoppable Force onto Katarina, but Misfortune picking up the kill. He was exhausted there. Now Sona taken very low. Will fall to Kog'Maw. Wild Growth is used on herself, but she's going to fall to Misfortune. A double kill for Misfortune. Stun down onto Kog'Maw by Renekton. He's ignited right now. Taking very low. Spirit Fire. Nasus is going to dive into tower. Barrier has been popped. He's taken very, very low, but will fall. A Catherine Surprise might be able to pick up the kill on a Nasus. We'll see. He's going to pop his ghost. Oh my god, he's taken so low there. Taken below 100 HP, but he is going to survive. The double kill goes to him. Will Misfortune die to tower? Misfortune taken down by that tower, actually. The shutdown goes to Lux. Singed now chasing Renekton. Renekton is very low. He needs to be very careful. And Nasus too does manage to get the Wither down, and that Wither is going to save both of their lives as they're both able to escape from there. So just a little bit of a misplay by Misfortune at the end of that fight, staying really low. But otherwise, Nasus surviving with almost no health, incredibly low health from that. Did pop his Lock of the Iron Solari, surviving as long as he possibly could, and a very nice team fight by, well, honestly, a very nice team fight by both sides. Dive Defeat was started out, they were 12-2, I think, at one point, and now 19-8 doesn't sound nearly as bad. They're still down by about 9k gold, but the gold gap is not, if it's increased at all, since the last time we checked, it hasn't increased by that much at all. So they're doing a very, very nice job of staying in the game. Malphite has picked up a Lock of the Iron Solari. That's going to help them in team fights. Lulu building towards an Aegis. They don't want to make the same mistake they made last game, not getting an Aegis against the damage of Katarina. It's not a dual AP comp this game, but Katarina still has a lot of damage. She's 3-3-3 right now. So again, not not nearly as big as she was last game, but you want to have the Aegis before Katarina is able to one-shot your entire team. So I definitely like that Lulu is going for that so early. Shirelia's was picked up as the first item by Sona. Again, we saw her use that in the bot lane. Shirelia's, and then looks like probably going to build an Aegis of her own. She does have 2 kills and 7 assists to her name, so a little bit richer than her support counterpart. And actually, seems like she's on the wrong side of people, but Singe actually needing to run away from Renekton a little bit. But of course, that is what Singe wants to be doing. He just wants to be running away at all times and making people chase him. Now the chase is actually down onto Nasus. Sona's flashing a little bit into the middle of the enemy team, gets the crescendo down onto 2, but she's a little bit out of position right now. No one seems to want to engage. Misfortune on the other side, and Renekton also on the other side. Light Binding not going to hit there. The Lucent Singularity is slowing for just a little bit. Singe is on the other side of the team, and Bullet Time finally comes down. It's going to hit 2. Lulu falling to the Bullet Time. Singe on the other side. Katarina comes in, picks up the kill onto Kog'Maw, flashing forward, gets the kill. Will she be able to get the kill onto Lux? She will. Double kill for Katarina. Meanwhile, Singe taken out by Misfortune there, and Nasus helping out with that quite a bit, so it gets a little bit of heal there onto your Renekton. And everyone, that was a very chaotic team fight, but in the end, the positioning ended up working out in Season 3 Secrets' favor. Misfortune with a very, very nice bullet time there across 3 members at max range, was able to pick up the kill onto Lulu. I think Lulu was unable to use either her Wild Growth or Exhaust that game, and with those 2 major cooldowns taken out of the fight went very, very convincingly in Season 3 Secrets' favor. Pushing now onto the in-hit turret. Singe is the only one who isn't available, but the Unstoppable Force comes down onto Nasus, but there's not really any follow-up from it. Glitterlands is going to miss there, but a lot of damage you can see from Kog'Maw's Bio-Arcane Barrage. He has Blade of the Ruined King picked up as his only item, so no bonus AD, and you can already see his auto attacks are making input. And the Final Spark going to hit there, but not be quite enough to take him out. Taken down to just below 200 HP. And everyone is going to recall. Morellonomicon was rushed by Lux. It's usually you see either Themes or Morellonomicon rushed by Lux, as Singe dives a little bit in the tower. Malphite has no mana right now. Sona is caught in the Light Binding. And actually the flip comes down onto Katarina. She is exhausted. Shirelius comes down. The Unlock of the Iron Slayer is popped, and that's going to save her life there, saving her from that Ignite. So Katarina not falling there despite the Ignite. Very nice Lock of the Iron Slayer. The Light Binding hits both. Cleanse from Misfortune and Exhaust by Sona. But Kog'Maw is here, and Kog'Maw picking up the kill on Sona with his Living Artillery. They will be able to pick up this inner turret, and Season 3 Secrets just stayed a little bit too long, but the bullet time comes down. They're not going to be able to get the turret. Renekton diving to the middle of everyone with his ult active. Lulu forced to flash from that Wither by Nasus. Gets a Glitterlands down. Very good disengage. Sona does not have Shirelia's available for a little bit longer, but the second Wither comes down again onto Lulu, she is stunned and going to be taken out there. Nasus now godlike. 7-0-7. This jungler doing so well, helping his team out quite a bit. The Light Binding is going to hit 1. Misfortune getting a little bit of damage. Nasus still trying to chase. He is being kited pretty well. The Mega Adhesive doing quite a bit. Baron is up right now. Looks like pings are going on to Dragon instead though. Aegis was finished by Lulu, has also been finished by Sona right now, so both teams having that AoE defense buff. And the tower lived in mid lane with 125 HP, so they did a beautiful job saving it. With Renekton dove in with his Dominance active, got a lot of damage down, a lot of HP shred from his ultimate, and got his dice off on everyone, I think. So got that armor reduction off on everyone too. And then Misfortune with the bullet time did so much damage to everyone that then when the rest of their team finally caught up, they were able to pick up the kill onto Lulu and just get so much damage down, saving their tower and ending up counter pushing a tower of their own. The inhibitor is still up right now, so they do need to push on that if they get the chance. They could go for Baron. They're strong enough that they could probably do fine, but honestly, they don't need to. They're doing great in team fights right now, and Season 3 Secrets grouping up at Baron is exactly what Malphite wants. Malphite wants to just say, oh, you know what, you're grouped at Baron? Okay, I'm just going to Unstoppable Force you, and then my team is going to kill you, because after the Unstoppable Force is going to be a Lux, Q, and ult, and Lulu is going to ult me and get a lot of damage, and then Kog'Maw is just going to be sitting there from the other side of the Baron wall the entire time, just dishing out auto attack after auto attack after auto attack with his W active. And that is not really what you want if you're Season 3 Secrets. Shirley is coming down from Sona. She gets the crescendo across 3. Very nice ult there. Katarina gets so much damage down. Wild Growth is not going to be enough. Bullet time coming down also. Katarina picks up a double kill. So much damage is coming out, and Nasus wasn't even there. Lux was taking blue buff, so they had the numbers advantage. A beautiful crescendo from Sona, and Lulu was just not able to save herself. Wild Growth not being quite enough. As soon as she was dead, the Aegis Aura was gone, and that was a double kill that they were able to pick up onto Singed also. Backing off now. Looks like they might decide to go for Baron. They don't have a single pink ward on them. So if they do go for Baron, it will be in full vision of Dive to Feed. But Dive to Feed, they do have their jungler right now, but they don't have Singed. Lulu is just respawning in base. Baron is dropping really, really quickly, actually. Misfortune just has so much damage right now. But Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, and then another BF on top of that. So probably going to build into an Infinity Edge as her next item. Final Spark comes down, but it didn't even hit Baron, just doing some damage to Katarina there, and that's going to be the Baron at about 2830, picked up by Nasus. Very nice light binding hits too there, but Nasus gets the Wither down, walking into this bush. It was actually warded there, so not actually face checking that. And he's going to pop his Spear of the Sands. Beautiful Unstoppable Force though. Misfortune forced to flash out. Katarina trying to get what damage she can down. Misfortune doing a lot of damage. Sona actually picks up the kill there. Lulu also falling to Katarina. She jumps to Sin, trying to chase afterwards. And this is the time when you can chase Sins. Misfortune now Unstoppable picking up the kill onto Sin. And on the other side, we do have Nasus diving onto Kog'Maw under towers. Barrier gets popped by Kog'Maw. He should be able to pick up the kill. But actually, both of them are going to go down. And Kog'Maw getting a shutdown, not quite picking up Katarina with that Cathian surprise. But 11 seconds on Lulu, 9 seconds on Malphite. Those are no one available right now. They have a wave with 2 super creeps in it, just melting through the turrets, and they should be able to push for the Nexus right now. Malphite is alive, but he does not have Unstoppable Force. Lulu does have Wild Growth, so she could try to run in and ult herself, but no, they're going to be able to pick up the Nexus at 29 minutes. Very nice job by Season 3 Secrets, just taking absolute lane dominance and then closing out the game before Kog'Maw was able to get big enough. So that was the match going over to Season 3 Secrets, to going Dive to Feed. I think I'm supposed to say something I think I'm supposed to tell you to sign up for LRSS or to sign up for LRSS, which you can do at lrss.co. I was casting the first game with Tasty Nubbins, but unfortunately he was starting to not feel well, so I just took over for the second game and solo casted it. I'm Ryan Goldriver. You can follow my channel at twitch.tv/RyanGoldriver. And I don't really know what I'm supposed to say after the games, but thanks for watching, and well played to both teams, and I'll see you later.